Pinheiro has us underway. Devin Tompkins into the end zone. Down to a knee. Remember the third year of this new kickoff rule. If it flies into the end zone, it's out to the 35, which is where Kirk Cousins will take over. Kirk, he was 5 of 6 in the opener, got one drive, led him down the field. And talking to him yesterday, Kirk Cousins told us so much about how he feels heading into the season.
I think I got smarter in that meeting. You talk about the quarterback position, I always lean on Rich Gannon, but I got so many nuggets and tidbits from talking to Kirk Cousins now going into his 15th year. He's played a lot of football, almost 6,000 throws in his career.
The Niners defensively, couple of starters on the field, but we expect to play most of their backups. It is Mike Washington pounding over a defender, carrying the opening handoff right through the middle for
at the cornerback spot. I love the way that Mike Washington finishes, right? Watch how he finishes. He keeps those pads square, and boom, sometimes you got to BYOB, be your own blocker.
I'm liking how that offensive line's finishing too, taking some guys to the ground.
Well, part of that offensive line in front of Washington, Jackson Powers Johnson. He is in there at right guard. Remember, he was dinged up before the Texans practice week, did not play. Washington again. Look at the block for the fullback Hayward to get him the first down. Well, this is an indication of the last couple of weeks what we will see this year. They've been in a lot of I formations with Connor Hayward here in the preseason.
The fullback position is alive, Rich. You play with a fullback.
I love it. John Ritchie in the house tonight as well with the alumni weekend. But, you know, look, we know Mike Washington can run the ball, but can he handle the passing game? And I think that's what we want to see a little bit tonight, you know, in terms of protection, in terms of responsibilities, and his ability to get out of the backfield and make some catches.
That is Brock Bowers at the top of your screen. He is split out wide. It is Bowers, and it is broken up. That is the aforementioned Jack Jones. And we saw it here over the course of a season and a half in Las Vegas. The ability to jump the route with pick sixes and the ability also to get beat for 50-yard passes.
Yeah, I just feel like that was a carbon copy of what we saw against the the LA Chargers a couple years ago, where he picked one off jumping right in front of it. That's a guy you don't want to throw a quick slant to that side. He's all over it.
8 career interceptions for Jones. He's got 4 touchdowns in what is now his 5th season out of ASU. Cousins back to the air. Good protection. Back to Bowers. And he is wrapped up. Tatum Bethune, 3rd year out of Florida State, one of the backup linebackers. It'll be 3rd down.
Really enjoyed our visit with Kirk Cousins yesterday and him talking about the tight end position. He feels really comfortable with that group. And, you know, even his comfort level with Trey Tucker and Jalen Naylor. And I think he's trying to develop that rapport with some of those other young receivers. And I think every rep that he can get with some of those young, trust how those guys are going to respond week 1.
Well, and for Brock Bowers, you know, you just assume that is target number 1, and then from there you figure it out. Cousins came off the initial hit. He found Jalen Naylor. It's a 1st down. Between Bethune and the corner, Jacob Robinson, they move the chains.
It's a nice job on the protection. Remember, Mike Washington, his first opportunity in this protection. Watch number 30. He gets right there, the running back spot, scans back side. Nobody comes, gives a nice little pocket for Kirk Cousins to deliver, and a nice job by Jalen Naylor. You were just talking about him, Rich, and number 9 getting involved early on.
Kirk, I could throw from that pocket. That's a clean pocket. That's a good-looking job by the group up front.
Back in that old school I formation, toss play. Got 2 blockers out in front for Washington, and he gets into the secondary, brought down by Stroman. There is a flag down right around the line where Washington was taken down after an 8-yard run. Well, this line is absolutely pushing the Niners backwards every time they go to run the football, but we'll see what the flag is.
I love the fact that Clint Kubiak believes in having a fullback involved in the game plan. And it's going to be important for the Raiders this year.
Holding. Offense number 18. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
We talked a lot about Jalen Naylor. This is on Jack Besh, who's in the slot.
Yeah, we don't usually replay penalties, but I just want to watch the fullback and watch the tackle get out. This is good looking. And I think we're going to see more and more of this. They have to be able to lean on the running game this season. They were 32nd in each of the last 2 years. They need to be a top 10 rushing team, and there's no reason why.
Rich, almost 15 yards fewer than the 31st place team. There's Trey Tucker. And he picks up all of that penalty yardage and more. It'll be 2nd down and 4 coming up Trey Tucker, Kirk Cousins couldn't say enough great things about Tucker. He said, you know, in my 14 years in the NFL, had a lot of speed guys. Most of them want to do one thing. Trey Tucker's a different story.
What did he say? He said you have to try and overthrow him. Now think about that for just a second. You know, that's almost impossible. He's got what I would refer to as rare and unusual speed at the wide receiver position.
And he lines up all over the place. Played slot receiver in college at Cincinnati. He's in the backfield off that motion. And they throw it to Tucker. He's got one man to beat. Gets the sideline, first down. He left the rookie Jaden Duggar in his dust. Picked up 8 yards.
Well, let's take a look at the keys for success offensively this season for the Raiders. I thought about this in my hotel room today, guys. How about some continuity and improved play up front of the offensive line? That is the key. And then growth with Kirk Cousins.
And that man, we just saw Rick Dennison, the offensive line coach, experienced Super Bowl, been in the NFL for more than 3 decades. There've been, you know, we've had a chance to talk to a variety of the offensive linemen over the last 3-4 weeks. They have credited with his energy that he still brings all this time in the league.
30 years of NFL coaching experience. He was brought in to restore order along that offensive line. And if he works his magic like he normally does, this might be one of the most improved units in all of football.
And that unit right there, Miller, Burford, Linderbaum, and Glaze at right tackle. They've been working with the ones the entire camp. Been a battle at right guard. Jackson Powers Johnson and Caleb Rogers. Tonight's JPJ in his 3rd year out of Oregon. He gets the nod. 2nd down and 6 on a lengthy opening drive. Washington spun his way right into a tackle. Jalen Graham, 4th year out of Purdue, was the one who spun him backwards, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Jason. Look, that's just 10 plays on this drive, and a lot of it is about Rico Dennison right there. We call him Rico around here, but look, you see the offensive lines that he's been a part of. And there's a reason why Clint Kubiak said, you know what, you're appointed to the group that needed the biggest jump, I think, in improvement from 2025
that's just since 2019. You go back to his days with Mike Shanahan in Denver. He's been around some good ones.
Now, 11th play of the drive. Kirk Cousins in his only drive in the preseason, game 1. 10-play drive, they scored a touchdown. This is already 5.5 minutes. Dylan Laube trying to push the pile. He's not going to get the first down. They ran it on 3rd down and 4. Pushed backwards. Are you going for this here?
Well, they ran it on 3rd and 4, knowing they were going to go for it on 4th down. And that's what you have with a really good play caller. And of course, they kicked the field goal. You know, you run it in that situation because if you get 4th and a yard, you go for it. But they've got a long 2 or 3.
Yep.
It wasn't very good.
Well, remember, there is position battles everywhere. Matt Gay has been in a battle throughout the camp with Kansei Matsuzawa, although it seems that Gay has performed in games certainly top-notch. Made from 52 last week. The veteran this time from 37, out of the hole of A.J. Cole. And Kirk Cousins leads the Raiders on a scoring drive to open up. You're not going to see Brock Purdy. Not going to see most of the starters. Kalen Black, the starting running back, 3rd-round pick out of Indiana. It's Fernando Mendoza's teammate. Mac Jones chased down Quiddy Pay. Got about a couple of yards. Mac Jones known for a lot of things the last couple of years, running, not one of them. Now Trayton Stukes tonight getting the start for the Raiders. He has been working in and out with the ones over the last couple of weeks. The 2nd-round pick, Kirk, out of Arizona, and he is going with the ones tonight.
Yeah, it's been a slow process early on. He didn't make many plays to begin, but once the installs were done, you saw Trayton Stukes takes his play to another level.
He is so versatile. They have loved his ability to try and get that ball. Nobody home. Kalen Black was looking one way. Mac Jones threw it the other way, and just like that, it's 3rd down. And, you know, Rich, look, a lot of coaches around the league do it differently. Some play their starters. Kyle Shanahan's year 10. He's not playing his starters. But for Clint Kubiak, he has not seen the starting defense get really off the field. Remember, the Cardinals went right down and scored.
Yeah, I don't really care who plays for the Niners. I do care who plays for the Raiders and what we're doing to prepare for week 1. I think Clint Kubiak, it's important to him to see these guys play a few more reps together in week 3.
Here they come with a blitz. Mac Jones, deep shot to Watkins. Not there. Taron Johnson, like Velcro on the 2nd-year receiver. Listen, Waitman in his 4th year in the league, kicking away to Malik Benson. Seen a lot of Devin Tompkins on returns. This year, the rookie out of Oregon. And he is lit up immediately downfield for the Niners. Kadarrell Hodge, longtime special team great in this league. And he made a big-time play there, 53 yards. Kirk Cousins, he's coming out for series number 2. in the record book. Week 1, Raiders will host the Dolphins here at Allegiant Stadium. Washington bounces that outside. He rumbles for 14 more, and he has put on his ability all preseason to make some big plays.
Well, that's one of his best plays. It's a delay. But watch this block here by DJ Glaze. Gets his defender to come up the field. And Mike Washington does a good job of riding the wave. He kind of waits, and once that C kind of opens up in parts, he knows how to get from 0 to 60 real quick.
I love that he's had a number of explosive runs already this preseason.
He had a 33-yarder against the Texans, a 53-yarder against the Cardinals. He breaks another tackle and gets 5 or 6 here. Already so far in this ball game for Mike Washington, 6 carries for 33 yards. But more importantly, for this offensive line, Clint Kubiak said, hey, I need these guys to gel. And they've had that battle at right guard. Caleb Rogers is in on this series after JPG started the game. And they are putting it on the Niners here. This is the throw. Tucker gets a block from Colton Miller. Nobody saw the gentleman coming from behind. Obo Okoronkwo. Well, Kirk Cousins, first drive 4 of 5, 35, resulted in a field goal, 15th year. And as we were talking to him yesterday,
He seems to get a head coaching job. Clint Kubiak's the next one up.
Michael Mayer went in motion, breaks a tackle, and just can't keep his feet, but he's got a first down. But Rich, to that point, right? Your career in Minnesota, you finished strong here with the Raiders, an MVP late in your career and leading the team to the Super Bowl. That's something else Kirk Cousins told us yesterday. Look, Atlanta didn't go the way he thought it was. It didn't go well. But people remember how you finish.
Yeah, I think what a luxury for a head coach and an organization to have an air traffic controller. You know, a guy that's been around a lot of different coaches and systems of football. I love that he takes ownership. You know, he's in that meeting yesterday. He wants control in the huddle at the line of scrimmage. I think it's very helpful that he did spend 3 years together with Clint Kubiak in Minnesota.
Pocket holds. Mike Washington cannot hold on. Jalen Graham was out there to hit him right as that ball got to his fingers. And the other thing that, you know, Kirk Cousins told us is that, you know, the Atlanta situation, and this is well documented, he thought they were going there. They weren't drafting a quarterback. They take Michael Penix Jr. He's under no pretense about what this is. He knows what it is. The team knew what it was, and he signed here with all those expectations in mind.
Yeah, no mystery to what the long-term plan is. That's what he said. He said, we all know where this is headed. He said, I understood what I signed up for. But in the meantime, he's getting an opportunity to play with the ones, and I think he'll start the season for the Raiders.
To the ground, huge hole for Washington. Carries a defender for 11 yards. Ashton Davis, the veteran safety, was slow to get up for the Niners, and now he hobbles back to his feet.
Yeah, I want you to watch this block right here by Caleb Rogers. You want to talk about chin checking somebody? Watch what he does here. Knocks the helmet off. That's how you engage, but it allowed Mike Washington to get up the field.
Sense for the running game. He's just a very natural runner that bobs and weaves. Great ease.
Trying to set up the tight end screen to Michael Mayer. And a great play. Darrell Luter Jr. He played a lot last year, got a ton of first-team looks, 3 starts for the Niners, and that's a great open field tackle.
It's always difficult for a left tackle like Colton Miller. He's got to wait behind that line of scrimmage till the ball's thrown. And so you don't get the opportunity to get out there right in front to go make that play or make that block. And that's just a good play by Luter coming through and tackling Mayer right by the ankles.
We're talking all about what the Raiders want to see from their starters here. The reality for the 49ers, they were not good last year in the secondary. 25th against the pass. Remember, they only had 20 sacks, dead last in the league by a wide margin. Cousins finds Jack Besh. He sat down, picks up about 5 or 6. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Rich, you keep talking about this pocket. I mean, Kirk Cousins back there fanning himself. The way this offensive line has been blocking so far to start this game.
Well, he's a guy that can get really hot. And if you give him a clean pocket and there's not a lot of push up inside, he can sit in there and pick you apart. Very accurate thrower of the football. When you look at his numbers over the years, he's a 67% completion guy, and he's thrown for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. He's coming up on 300 career passing touchdowns. That should get done early this season.
He had 30 touchdowns 3 times in his career. 35 was his career high in 2020 with the Vikings. On 3rd down, that is a tough throw and great coverage. Saran Neal one-on-one with Jalen Nailor, got no space. And that goes back to what Clint Kubiak was talking about. He needs this receiver group to find a way to make some plays.
Yeah, a little bit better route here may get the job done. You got to be able to create some separation. That's actually pretty good coverage, though, truth be told. The guys that can create separation and really, most importantly, win versus man coverage.
Matt Gay last week hit from 52. This from 53. Cole puts it down, and he is still perfect here in the preseason. First team defense out here for a second series. That's a big gap to the outside that is closed. Kalen Black, such a violent runner. Nakobe Dean closed. And Rich, here are your defensive keys for the season.
Well, it all starts with being the more physical unit. They've got to dominate the line of scrimmage and stop the run. I think we talked a lot about this in week 1. They got to create more negative plays. Just 13 takeaways last season and 37 sacks, which was tied for 18th. And they got to get off the field on third down. 31st a year ago, opponents converted 46% of their opportunities on third down.
To the ground. It is a first down for San Francisco. Now, and again, the personnel is just so different, particularly up front. Now, we were not seeing Max Crosby tonight. He's the only expected Raiders starter defensively who is not playing tonight, and we have not seen him all preseason. But that being said, and Max will join us later on the broadcast, you asked Clint Kubiak who shined more than you expected, and that's the guy he points to.
Yeah, he's a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, he can really ruin a game plan by himself. What the Raiders need is they need more players that play with that intensity and that confidence and that swagger that we see from Max each week. And I think we talked a lot about it, guys, creating negative plays, sacks and forced fumbles, and taking the ball away in the second or interceptions. They need to get their hands on more balls to be a better defense in 2026.
And there's a reason why they added 2 former Georgia Bulldogs. That confidence, that swagger, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker.
Mac Jones with play action. He's got all day to throw. And a brilliant job by Eric Stokes. Stayed with Jordan Watkins all the way across the field to break it up.
And there's one of those Bulldogs as well, right?
Rookie Dejon Stribling hasn't played yet tonight. Raiders come with a blitz. Mac Jones off his back foot. No run home. Will Pauling, the intended receiver, the rookie out of Notre Dame, and it's 4th down.
But it's what Rob Leonard wants to see. We don't talk enough about Rob Leonard's defense. I mentioned it. The installs are now over. This is what a game plan looks like. They game plan for this offense for San Francisco. And watch how he's got pressure. They're bringing pressure without Max Crosby on the field, able to get an errant throw from Mac Jones.
Yeah, you got Johnson in a trail technique, playing man-to-man coverage with help from Stooks over the top.
Saw Malik Benson field the first punt. This time it's Dylan Laube. Scored a touchdown last week as the running back in that comeback against the Texans. He waves for the late fair catch, and he makes it at the 15-yard line.